Hello and welcome to Thought for November the 20th. Our readings are Nehemiah chapter 8, Joel chapter 3 and 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. And our thought is, in those days. Just 3 short chapters, but what a blunt message the prophecy of Joel contains with the climax in the final chapter we read today. Some of it certainly applies to our days. Is it not evident that the first verse today, in those days, refers to the time in which we are now living? Days, of course, means times, and some versions translate it that way. It obviously means that in verse 18 of today's chapter, not one specific day, in that day here refers to the peace and prosperity when Jesus has returned and God's law is administered from Jerusalem. Careful students of Bible prophecy are attracted to this chapter. One reason is verse 4. What are you to me, O Tyre and Zidon, principal cities in Lebanon today, and all the regions of Philistia, now of course the Gaza Strip? These are the 2 particular areas of unrest today, where those live who so strongly resent the existence of the nation of Israel. Yet, there are several things in these verses which are not at all clear, but at least not yet. Future events will make them clear. But what is clear is, let the weak say, I am a warrior, verse 10. And the next 2 verses refer specifically to the surrounding nations whom God will set to judge, verse 12. For their evil is great, we read in verse 13. The valley of Jehoshaphat, verse 12, is located between Jerusalem and the Mount of Olives, we believe. It is called the Valley of Decision in verse 14, and seems very parallel to Armageddon when God treads his winepress, see Revelation 14 verses 17 to 20, to punish the nations. At that time, Joel records, the Lord is a refuge to his people, a stronghold to the people of Israel. So you shall know that I am the Lord your God, verses 16 and 17. We also noted the words of chapter 2, you shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and there is none else. And my people shall never again be put to shame, verse 27. There is every reason to believe that those days are these days. Let us keep our eyes on the Middle East. After all, that is where the Bible was mainly written. And why was it written? For everyone who wants to know about God and what he reveals of the future. Our future. What about yours? Well, thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of God's Word, knowing that Word to be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.